Initially, my reaction was this was a bad guy, needed to be taken out. I obviously haven't seen the intelligence, but we don't need a lot of intelligence to know that this guy had been killing Americans for years. And the idea that you can take him out, just replace him with someone else, that's completely ridiculous. Certainly you can give someone the same title, but he, and you saw by the crowds and the reaction, he was a really big deal in their military and in their terrorist attacks on and pushing terror through proxies through other entities in the Middle East. You can't. It's a major blow to them. They can't just replace him. And so it didn't take much convincing of me to know that that was a good thing. I watched the president's speech today. I think he said the right things in substance. I think he hit the right tone. He made it clear that, look, America, the United States is not seeking war. And if there's ever a president who wanted to have less entanglement in some of these places where we've spent trillions of dollars and lost many lives, is President Trump. He's not out looking for a fight, but he made it clear that he's also not going to allow what has gone on with Iran for decades to continue, which is they kill us, a lot of Americans, and a lot of it is, as I indicated, through proxies, right, through other entities, other terrorist groups. They continue to sow discord and chaos in the Middle East, and he made it clear that that's not gonna happen on his watch. I thought that was really important. I think if you're looking for a Trump doctrine, I think it's starting to come together here, and that is we will be engaged where we need to be. We will take action where we need to be. That doesn't mean we need to put tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of troops on the ground around the world. It also doesn't mean, like the last president, that we're just going to do nothing and allow these rogue regimes to continue to build up their strength. I would say, and the President Trump is seeing this firsthand, that with the case of North Korea, right, that is an example of all along, decade after decade, president after president of both parties said, well, it's better to just kick that one down the road and not do anything now. Well, I think all of us can agree that had we done something 20 years ago with regard to North Korea, we wouldn't have the problem that we have today. And President Trump made a reference of sorts to that with regard to Iran. He started out the speech by saying, Iran will not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. They will not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. And basically what he's saying is we're not going to wait year after year after year after year and end up with a North Korea type situation in Iran, where it becomes almost too late to do something about it, because then at that point there are a lot of people in harm's way, and so it's better to deal with this on the front end. So I think he showed great strength and great resolve, and as General Petraeus was quoted in the Financial Times over the last few days, look, there needs to be some signs that we won't tolerate this. He indicated that he saw this as sort of sending a signal that President Trump is different than past presidents, and he's not going to tolerate what Iran has historically done, and that there's big deterrence value here. I think you saw that in the so-called retaliation. They call it retaliation. The truth is they've been killing Americans for years. So you can call it retaliation if you want, but it seems to me they purposefully missed any significant target. There was no loss of life from what I could see of any kind from last night. So I think that was a, quote, retaliation by Iran for their audience, a propaganda retaliation, knowing that if they did any real damage, then they would have President Trump to deal with. So look, I think a lot of the naysayers and a lot of the people wringing their hands are wrong. A lot of these people are the same people that said if you move the embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, the world's going to come to an end. Well, President Trump moved it and it didn't come to an end. So I think we need to step back and take a deep breath here and see this for what it is. I think this is a defining moment from a positive perspective in President Trump's first term. And I think you'll see, if you look online, I think you'll see a lot of different people who aren't necessarily conservative on foreign policy, who have said, "Hey, look, this is a big deal in a positive way." You know, we've got to obviously be vigilant. Nothing's ever over. But I think that what the president's done is a good thing.